Hello everyone and welcome to episode 155 of the Xbox Hall of Gamers podcast. I'm Matt and this week I'm joined by Shane.
Hello, hello.
And Jake.
Howdy, howdy.
Long time no chat, guys. Good to see you.
It has been a minute.
How have you guys been?
American crew, gang, we're still here.
American crew's still here for sure. Good. Just playing what little games I can these days. The busyness never stops, it seems.
Yeah, no, I get you. It's sometimes it's hard to find the time. Unless you're Shane, of course, in which case...
Yeah, I'm about to say, I have no idea what you're talking about.
Yeah, always find the time.
Yeah. I was going to say, I feel like there's some people who I look at the games they pop, and I'm just like, how do you... What is your life? How can I have that also?
Yeah, right? As always, we do the show live on Twitch. Xbox Hall of Gamers is the place to find us. You can come hang out, say hi, shit post, the usual business. And then I put these shows up on YouTube if you want to catch the old VODs, as well as your sort of audio podcast platforms, as you're probably listening to this right now. There's not a huge amount going on this week. I mean, we're still kind of, it's like end of Jan, early Feb. There's still not a huge amount of news. People are still kind of coming back to work, and we're kind of seeing what's being lined up for the year. But I figured we can just jump straight into it. So some news basically earlier today, or yesterday, was that Multiversus is going offline again.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Right?
They tried, I guess. I don't know.
It's WB, it's not that crazy.
I was going to say, what are WB doing?
Yeah, I guess. I mean, it's
Burning
like
it all down.
it's super believable, but I'm also just like, I don't know. It's like, what went wrong?
So what was the timeline with that? Because I remember they shut it down for a little bit, right? They
Yeah,
went
when
like
did it go up?
Well,
Yeah, they better shut
did
down the beta.
Yeah, they
Yeah,
did
that's
beta,
right.
and it was originally going to be like, we're going to do beta until 1.0.
Yeah,
And then they were
right.
like, JK, we're going to actually close the beta down until 1.0. And then
That's
1.0 came out. And now they're like, yeah, it's not doing what we wanted it to do, so we're going to close it down.
I mean,
Yeah.
yeah. Have you guys played this? Like, I don't. Again, I remember got
I
a
will be.
huge amount of. Yeah, of course. I saw a huge amount of buzz about it when it first came out. Like, it was crazy. People were like, "Oh, this is the Super Smash Brothers killer," like, thing, blah blah.
Yeah.
Blah. And then,
And I did play it on an
I
alt.
mean-
It is very functionally good.
Mm.
Like, it does
Yeah.
feel... Because I did, like, the Cartoon Network one. I did the... What was the other Nickelodeon one they did? It was, shoot.
Just Nickelodeon All-Stars?
That one? Was it that? Yeah.
they did two of
I don't
those,
know.
and then they
Those
did
are
this Cartoon Network one. They did,
okay.
yeah.
Yeah, but they're not great. But
I
Multiversus does
had
feel
a-
like Smash Brothers. I was very excited to get around to
I
it at some
had
point.
old Melee buddies from college that we used to play competitively who were like all on board with it. They were super hyped about it and played a ton of it. So I don't know. It's not the first time we've seen a Melee killer though. Like
Yeah.
quote unquote Melee killer, or not Melee killer, but Smash killer. PlayStation All Stars was supposed to be a Smash killer.
Oh, boy.
I'm sure somebody said the Nickelodeon one was supposed. I think there was some big hype about Nickelodeon Brawl 2 or something, and
Yep.
everyone was like, "This is going to be the Smash killer," and then Multiverse is
Yep.
going to be the Smash killer, and it's just nothing can dethrone Smash.
I
Rivals
feel
of
like
Aether.
Multiversus probably had the best chance because again, it was functionally very well done compared to because I did Nickelodeon 2 or whatever it was called, and it's okay, but it's not quite got that feel
Yeah.
to it. You know what I mean? But Multiversus did, and I'm very excited to get around to it. 'cause I
Have
will
you
be now.
played either
So-
of you played Rivals of Aether?
No, I didn't bother. I was kind of, like, I thought about it,
No.
but platform fighters, I was the most casual Melee fan back in the day, and like had a pretty good time with it. But I was like, there's no way I'm going to be playing too much of this.
Fair.
Yeah, I really don't
That
know.
one feels like it's like almost like a less of a, they go hand in hand, whatever the word that is, like compliment to
That's
Smash.
the word for it.
Yeah,
Passion project from the Melee community to make it doing pretty well. So I bring that up because that feels like the closest we've ever gotten to like an actual competitor.
I mean, Brawlhalla is still out there.
That is true. They got Rayman,
or
right?
Smash.
I don't know if you played that. It's also pretty close.
Brawlhalla
Oh, jeez.
is out there.
And it's
I forgot about
crossovers and stuff like
Brawlhalla.
that. So
Yeah, that's fair. I do see that game in advertisements a lot. But I do forget about that one all the time. Yeah.
well,
fair.
we're not its audience, I
No,
don't think.
probably not.
Yeah, I mean, are you guys gonna go back and finish it, or like?
I should be. I used to play Melee competitively, so maybe I should be.
100%.
But
I'll be starting it probably next week.
I will not. I'm hardly playing the games I want to play. I don't have time to rush a server closure that I was mildly interested in the first place.
Yeah, apparently I don't know if you
I
can do
must
custom
play it.
matches anymore
I need
as
it.
well with the new launch. I don't know.
Oh,
I'm a little bit curious
I'll
as to
fucking know.
like what the state of that game is and what you can do with it. But
Well, they
yeah.
said they were going to go offline play, right? Like
Yeah.
they said, you're still going to be like the game's not going away. You'll be able to play it offline, but like, what is that? You know?
Yeah, what can you achieve in
yeah.
there?
And I want Beetlejuice.
Yeah. They really kind of dropped the ball. They really did drop the ball on this game because it had a lot of momentum coming out, and people thought that was like, hey, WB's got a lot of licensed properties they can kind of lean on, and they just kind of didn't do anything with it.
I wonder if it's unrealistic expectations, which we've seen like Square Enix and WB themselves, or was taking it offline after the beta kind of like, oh, I guess it's gone, and everyone just kind of moved on to something else.
Yeah, well, I mean, I wonder if it's a chicken and egg thing, right? Because I think part of the reason they took it down was because it just like lost popularity and they wanted to make improvements
Yeah,
to try and get
the
people
player
back.
base was dying.
But yeah, that
I
doesn't.
don't know. Maybe it could all. It feels like it's a song as old as time. Maybe it can all just be boiled down to mismanagement because that seems like where most big games from big studios are falling.
I
into
feel
this
like that's
bucket of,
that's so
just
easy to do
mismanaged.
because it's always the
It
answer.
is. It is. It's. I mean, it's frequently the case.
I mean, classic WB behavior, right? Like between this Suicide Squad and
Especially with WB.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll be talking about that later. Don't worry.
yeah. Next news story here is that Forza Horizon 5 is apparently going to be the next exclusive Xbox game that's going to PS5. There was Cameron talked about the interview with Destin last week with Phil Spencer, where they were like, yeah, Starfield's coming. They like Phil Spencer reiterated that they're bringing over pretty much all the games to other platforms. So next one, first one we know about here is Forza Horizon 5. There's been some rumors again around like MCC, Halo MCC, and all that kind of stuff. I don't know. I mean, yes, sometime spring 2025 apparently. Do we care?
That's the first
Very
I've heard
much.
of this. So that's interesting.
I'm very much the more people play it, good. And it's ending. It's what's it called? The Circle of Life or whatever you call it. I forget what they call
End
it
of
for
life
these games.
Yeah,
but
yeah, sure.
yeah,
End of life of
they're
the
just
game,
they're
yeah.
just like Master Chief Collection. That's been out forever. Of course, it's gonna
Yeah.
go to the
Yeah.
consoles.
Get some more sales out of it. It's like why sell a game once when you can sell it 3 times?
True. Very true.
Why
The Nintendo
have
method,
one
as they call
launch
it.
day? Yeah, why have one launch day when you can have 3 launch days?
I mean, how many times have people bought
Um,
the NES Mario at this point?
it makes me wonder what their strategy for consoles is, and it might it seems like we're pointing more and more towards a Steam Deck style future for Microsoft hardware, where they're just like,
Yeah.
we just want to sell you a unit that you can play games on, not our games, just games on.
Yeah.
I know Phil Spencer came out and at least said that they at least got another console in them. They're not giving up consoles completely yet. Though, even if they were going to, they wouldn't say that right now.
No,
While there
exactly.
are still consoles to sell.
Exactly.
So,
Yeah.
like Nintendo and their, the Game Boy and the DS are part of our 3-tier system. Sure,
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Exactly.
we all fell for that.
Yeah, it's a bit of an awkward situation, right? I guess. This isn't a huge surprise, right? Like we've been hearing, there's been multiple news stories around like Phil Spencer being like, "No, we don't have any red lines. We'll port over whatever we want. The future of Microsoft and Xbox is multi-platform." I am definitely interested to see like what does a next generation Xbox look like. We're 2 or 3 years probably away from an announcement, and maybe
At minimum, yeah.
maybe I don't know.
At most, I mean.
Yeah, I think like the handheld Steam Deck thing is an interesting idea because like is Microsoft making the same mistake they made with the Windows Phone, whereas like they have a good idea but they get into a saturated market too late with already like I mean like the Steam Deck has been around for a decent while now, and you've already got like the ROG Ally and the Lenovo thing and a few other competitors in that space already. I mean, I don't know.
Yeah, it would have to be killer for sure. Like it would have to be like substantially, noticeably improve, like an improvement over like the Steam Deck and the Ally and all that. It would have to be like it has to be if they want to do that. They have to make a console that makes people want to sell their Steam Decks and Allies.
Exactly.
Which good luck.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah, and obviously they've on the other side of it, they've got this sort of cloud future where it's like you can play everything on every device. So do you really need a powerful handheld computer?
Which they're also coming out with, though. I mean, they're all coming out with a handheld.
That's true.
They've stated that
they're doing something. I'm very curious where it'll sit on the continuum of like PlayStation Portal, where it's just a streaming device, to like Switch kind of level of like low end hardware to like expensive Steam Deck kind of killer, ridiculously expensive piece of machinery. I don't know.
I think it's gonna be more like the Portal.
Well, yeah, right. With everything they're doing, pushing to streaming, it does sound like that's kind of maybe direction they're going in. But they said they're quite a few years away. They're still like, in prototyping for even a device, so I don't expect to hear about it anytime soon.
But isn't the Sony? Maybe I'm just ill-informed as well. But isn't the Sony handheld device you have to be on the same Wi-Fi network as the device?
I think originally yes. When they brought it out, I think they have updated it so you can use their cloud gaming service now with it.
Oh, okay.
That's good.
That is good
because that did seem like it seemed like a real like what are you doing?
It's like what the fuck's the point?
Exactly.
Like, I only ever remote into my Xbox when I'm in a different domicile than my Xbox.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's kind of an interesting idea of like where their market is so I don't know, like it really feels like last year or so Xbox has been really trying to reassess what the fuck they're doing, and their messaging has just kind of been all over the place. But I mean, again,
console wars are over. I think we can agree with that.
I think so.
Yeah, all three parties are just doing whatever they want now. So I think PlayStation's probably the closest to what everyone would consider traditional.
Yeah.
And then Nintendo's doing their Nintendo thing, and Microsoft's doing their cloud thing. And
it's making me feel more confident in my recent purchases for like limited run pickups. I've been choosing the PS4 and PS5 versions.
Yeah.
Because it seems like PlayStation is still going to continue doing that thing. So I don't know. I've kind of very recently started shifting towards buying my physicals for PlayStation over Xbox because it doesn't seem like Xbox seems to. I think weirdly, with Sony being the people to release a console with not a disk drive and you have to buy it as a peripheral. I feel like weirdly Sony's going to be the last place, and maybe Nintendo, that we can keep buying physical media instead of Xbox. I think Xbox is going to go digital very quickly. I mean, I've been noticing bigger AAA launches even like not having physical releases, which just feels so weird.
I think Alan Wake 2 was like the test
big
round
one,
where they really tried, that was like the first big game where like, we're not going to release it digital yet or physical yet. So
and then they let Limited Run release it physically. So they're letting these third-party physical forever, people do all the physical printing of their games. So it's interesting for sure. I feel like we're going to go the way very, very, very soon. The way of vinyl collectors, where
that's exactly what I was going to say. Yeah,
artists will release a vinyl specifically as a collector's item. Now it's going to be you can get the physical edition, and it's always a collector's item, and it's always a limited print. Like it's going to be interesting. I am too, to be honest. I've started to suck up my detest for limited run and just be like, this is probably the future of physical gaming. So screw it. I support their mission, I guess.
It becomes a bit of a niche thing, but it makes sense, I guess. That's as most people move to digital. But I
used to not like limited run because of the artificial scarcity, but now it's like, that might be my only option. So it's like, all right, limited run, I'm behind you. Yeah, exactly.
Made to order? Is limited run made to order, or do they make?
It's made to order. They do a release window.
That's why. They do
a release window, and you can order as many as you want within that window, and then as soon as it's done, it's gone forever, and they ship it out to you like 3, 4, 5 months later. I just got my Alan Wake 2. Then. I mean, I posted it in the Discord, my Alan Wake 2 Collector's Edition. I ordered that shit in June. I just got it in December.
Jesus Christ.
Woof.
My Lollipop Chainsaw I ordered in August. It's not going to get here till July.
Well, no, that's how physical works, right? I guess if you're made to order.
Yeah. So it's going to be an interesting future for physical collectors. I cry in the corner as a lowly physical collector.
Now, here's my question. So, Xbox is definitely on the path to cloud. PlayStation's dabbling in it. Nintendo doesn't care. Not to bring current events into things, but we have a lot of things going on in America right now
I've heard.
that needs semiconductors come from China. I wonder if what's going on right now with our government is going to affect Microsoft's timetable for getting to where they want to be with cloud. Because they're not going to be able to pump out servers if semiconductors are stupid expensive, or they'll have to at least pull back some of their
Well, that's the
plans.
whole thing,
So
right? Is U.S. manufacturing. We have a semiconductor plant in America. They built one
but
for the specific purpose of trying to compete with China. They can't staff it because nobody wants to work manufacturing jobs. Like,
yeah, always have in Iowa, so which is where I'm at. But I'm just curious. Like, I wonder if that's going to affect how their plans go, because I'm sure they have some kind of internal timetable on how they want to get this rolled out, and their projections and everything. And it'll be interesting to see how that affects this.
I mean, talking about like next gen, like Switch 2 parts. I mean, PlayStation 6 parts, whatever they call it, the Xbox 720, whatever they call it. Like, there is a concern now with the way tariffs are going and the way that trade stuff is happening that like we might end up with a similar to COVID situation where it's like we're going to have a potential pitch launch when there's going to be no availability and the prices are going to be ridiculous.
I mean, I saw people talking about a $800 Switch 2 today.
Yeah, right, exactly.
Yeah.
Another podcast.
Like, that's crazy.
Ugh, I didn't want to pay $750 for the PS5 Pro. I don't think I'm going to pay $800 for a Switch 2.
Absolutely.
Ugh.
Yep, should be interesting.
Yeah.
But yeah, I was curious about I wonder how that'll. I'm sure they're thinking about that. There's no way they're not talking about that. So.
Well, I mean, the thing is,
we'll
like these days, the companies refuse to sell consoles at a loss, right? Like that was the big thing back in the day was that you sold the consoles at a loss, you made it up on attachment rates, and it was basically up that way until basically the PS4, I think, is where they kind of were like, actually, this thing is gonna like it won't make a lot of money, but it will have a margin on it. And
I was just chatting with somebody about how like you used to see consoles go from, it was like 350 to 300 to 250 to 200. I remember seeing GameCube ads for $99.99 for GameCube, like towards like 2003, 2004 and stuff. So
consoles haven't gone down in price.
Consoles,
no, just
not even a little bit. No, up
in a while.
So in some places, up in some places.
Yeah,
that's insane.
Yeah.
Unprecedented times, as they say.
Yeah, and so
with Microsoft specifically, you would think, okay, but they're focusing on cloud, so they'll keep making money. But they need servers to run those, which need semiconductors, which need hardware, and so specifically with Microsoft, it's going to hinder their efforts as well. So again, I'm curious how this is going to work out.
Yeah, it is. Like, I mean, we've all got huge backlogs. Like this was the thing when the Series X was announced. I was like, hey, like I'm probably not going to run out and grab one of these. I've got plenty of games to play on my Xbox One. Obviously, I won one in the competition, so it ended up not being a bit of a moot point. But there's always that thing of like, when is the time when a console comes out to jump on it? And it's usually like, it needs like a certain amount of killer apps. It's different for everyone. Some people are like, hey, launch day, I need this thing. I need the new tech. I need the. But with prices not coming down, doesn't matter when you pick up the tech. Like, that
was the realization I made years ago when I got a Switch. With like, I was waiting for games to come down because I was a little late to the game, and I'm like, I want to pick up this game when it's $20, $30, and I just waited. Mario Kart 8 is still $60.
Yeah, never changes.
Yeah. So it's like it really is to a point of like, why ever wait anymore? There's no reason to wait. When you have the money, you might as well spend it if it's something you want. Hell, in Nintendo's case, some games even go up because they run out of print, and it is genuinely more convenient to have the physical copy for a Switch because their storage space is so small. That I remember Xenoblade 2 in COVID times, you couldn't buy a new copy of Xenoblade 2 for less than $110. The first time I saw it for $60 again, I bought it without even thinking about it.
Yeah, so it's interesting times ahead, and especially with the way the games industry right now. I mean, there was some talk around the games industry being quote unquote saved if they sell GTA 6 for $100. There was a bit of an opinion piece around that, and
yeah, I've seen people talking about that too. I've seen people. I don't get it, man. I'm like, how can you betray your own? How are you so ready to fall on your own sword, betray yourself? Like, I'll see comments of sections of people being like, I'd pay $200 for GTA 6. It's going to be that quality of a game. I'm like,
Don't do
brother,
that.
yeah,
that is what they
Don't
want
say that
to
out loud.
hear.
yeah, exactly.
They want you
don't
to-
give them
they-
ideas.
Right.
Like,
To be fair, we all know AAA development has run rampant. Like they need to scale it back as it is. Like they're not getting paid enough for the games. They're not paying their developers enough to work on what they're doing. So I don't know. They need to be working. They need making more AA games.
yeah,
Especially big developers.
need to return to smaller projects, and like I know it's not as like sexy to put
Yeah.
on your like sizzle reel, but like, what's the alternative? I mean, like we're talking about. I think a few weeks ago we talked about how the budgets for some of the older Call of Duties leaked, and it was like $800 million. Like it's insane. Like I can only imagine what Black Ops 6 cost.
I'm surprised they don't make more small projects with existing assets. Kind of how Capcom did with Dead Rising Case Zero and Case West. Like just do that slightly bigger, sell it at retail discount retail price at like 40, and see what happens.
But that's
Well, isn't that
yeah,
what people are saying with Astrobot?
Elden Ring's kind of doing that.
kind of
yeah.
with Night Rain. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Aren't people saying too that's why they were stoked at Astrobot 1 because it might show AAA developers you don't need a multi-hundred billion
Yeah.
dollar budget.
gotta be
It'd
good.
Fun.
Gotta be good.
Nintend's old motto back in the 80s. It's got to be fun. Yeah, I don't know how
That's
we
true.
lost that plot. Don't know how we lost that.
I mean, the top games last year were what? Balatro, Astrobot. Like, if they're not getting the hint, I don't know what to tell them.
And fucking what?
Yeah.
The Pocket Pairs thingamajig, Power World. Like it's crazy to think
Yeah.
about. Like like AAA kind
Power
of
is fun, but if you play it for hours, you could tell it's still pretty bare bone.
Sure.
Like overall,
Yeah.
it just has a fun loop, and that's again, it's gotta
It's
be
just-
fun, guys.
Just crazy out in those board meetings that never comes up. Where are we going wrong? Like, well, we got to make a good game about.
Like that
let's
meme
make a
of,
game
like,
people want to play.
Hey, let's make a fun game, and they get kicked out the
kick
window.
through the window.
Like,
Exactly.
Yes,
yeah, exactly.
correct. That seems to be what happens in most major corporations gaming board meetings.
Listen, Nintendo. It's like, what do you want to do, Miyamoto? Oh yeah, sure, do that. Wait, we don't care.
What if we made smaller games with smaller budgets, less graphics, and less features? What about that?
But what if they don't sell? It's like, oh, well, then you lost less money than you would have on Concord. You know, like,
right.
Oh my god.
Ugh.
Maybe that was the wake up call they needed.
well, that's the thing is that like Sony, like we were kind of talking about Microsoft here in terms of like their strategy and kind of their struggles, but like Sony are also in a bit of a weird spot right now with all their live service. You know, their 12 live service initiatives that they had working on, down to like I think they're down to like 4 of them now. Like they've canceled so many of them.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, the most interesting post I saw about Concord was like somebody was saying this is what they like. Here's an AMA of a guy who worked in the studio while it was under development, and one of the things they would always refer to it internally is the future of Sony.
Yeah, this was their big
So
thing.
it's just like, oof, if that's what you got as your future of a company, that's pretty damning.
Yeah, well,
I mean,
yeah.
with Sony, you know, we've had a lot of leadership changes in the last few months.
Mm-hmm. Herman Holst
The,
is kind of
the co-CEO, I think, was just gone last week. I think it was.
Yeah, so Herman Holst, he's been pushed down like to a lower level, basically under because they were co-CEO, and now he's reporting to the CEO, who was the other one there. So it really feels like
I know investment watches are on for February 13th to see how Sony's earning report. Like, yeah, they're kind of in a they're curious how this is going to go. If Sony's track record's any indication, we might be seeing a PS6 being a PS3 kind of situation.
Yeah. Oof. Well,
I mean, how did the PS5 Pro do? I can't imagine. Like I saw
know.
flippers were selling at a loss to get rid of their stock because no one wanted it. No one gave a shit.
I mean, it's the wrong time to have an expensive console.
Yeah.
You know,
100%.
like times are tough, money's tight.
I'm seeing it selling mostly okay. So
yeah.
Okay, selling. Yeah.
I don't know if that means people. I don't know if the flippers not being able to turn a profit means that there were demand issues, or if Sony just met demand.
They probably had a pretty good idea.
Supply,
yeah,
so.
I imagine they have a pretty good idea of like what they needed to make for that and who their audience were. I'm hoping that they market tested that pretty significantly, because obviously there's going to be those kinds of people who are like, I need to have the latest and greatest.
And usually I'm that person.
Always.
This time I skipped, which I'm sure I'm not the only one who is usually that person who also skipped.
Yeah, me. I took me a while to get a Series S.
Yeah. Fair. But their earnings call is going to be an interesting one, right? Because I think they've obviously got a few irons in the fire in terms of other projects going on, but with the whole live service gambit kind of collapsing underneath them, it's seems like they maybe bet a few bucks on the wrong horses. And that's not even.
And let's face it, it's all because the Concord episode of Secret Level failed.
Yes, that's definitely it. It
was very boring. Yeah, obviously, if they had just gone a little better, it was not very fun. But that show was weird.
I heard, like, again, because I loved Death and Robots. I think it was absolutely fucking fantastic show.
Oh, amazing! All 3 seasons so far.
So I was excited, but I heard it got renewed for another season. So hopefully, I guess we'll see. Kind of.
I watched the Armored Core and the Mega Man.
I saw the Armored Core one, because everyone saw like Keanu Reeves.
Mega Man was great.
Yeah, Mega Man was sick.
I guess kind of getting back to the story, like, is there anything that you guys are like would be surprised to see move over from Xbox? I mean, it seems like they're saying anything's on the table now. So like,
they're bringing over Horizon 5.
At this point, no.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, Horizon would have been one of those untouchable ones. So now, Gears of War, Halo, I won't even be kind of surprised.
Yeah,
I'm just hoping this doesn't mean they're going to add new achievements and more content to this game, because apparently there is another update coming along, and that game just will not fucking die.
It's really got me considering if I want to do Horizon 6 or not. With that, they can sell me Horizon 6 if it's in goddamn Japan.
Yeah, it's gonna be a really good pitch for me to do Horizon 6.
Ask Ubisoft how that went.
Yeah, fair.
I always want to do a Horizon game. They always looked fun.
I mean, like,
I almost jumped on 5 and I just never got around to it.
I had a great time with 5.
I've done all 5.
I really enjoyed the original, and I played 5 because it was the first one I played in a long time, and obviously I played it under duress, but I still had a fantastic time with it. It really was just the Eliminator. That was the one thing that really fucked me.
Yeah.
If in Horizon 6 they make the Eliminator achievement just play a round of Eliminator, or like even just like get to the final circle or something.
I'll play 100 rounds of Eliminator. I don't give a fuck. As long as I don't have to win one, it's fine.
Yeah.
Win 100.
Win 100. Yeah, exactly. Done. Jesus.
Fucking eat shit.
All I know my daughter likes playing it. I haven't played it, but
it's a great game.
Those Horizon games always look cool. I did the Fast and the Furious one.
That was good.
That was like, oh, this is actually really fun.
Yeah.
So that's always been on my list since then, but
yeah,
never got around to it.
Is this 3 have unobtainables now? 4 does.
I think 4 even does, doesn't it?
4 does.
4?
2 definitely does. 1 does.
Yeah, I think 3 does.
No, 1 does. Does 1? 1 might.
One's
got delisted DLCs.
I think they all
That's
do
the only
at
one
this
I actually
point.
own.
Yeah.
Then I guess you just got to do 5.
5's really the only one you could do these days. Yeah.
Exactly,
fun.
I know.
And they keep supporting it, so it's around for a while.
Mm.
And then last news story we got here is in like no shit news. Summer Games Fest is returning in 2025. I'm going to have more than 40 leading game publishers there, apparently. So it looks like the event is just kind of getting bigger and better as Jeff Keighley just accumulates more power like the Lich King. I mean, are we excited? Are we interested? Is there anything in particular you guys want to hear about, or?
I'll be excited when it gets closer, and then I remember it's coming next week. I'm like, oh, yeah, cool. That'll be fun.
Yeah, obviously we'll do a show, but yeah.
I am officially on like hard to get excited about new games. Got to finish backlog mode. Yeah. Like my brain has just been like I have probably been buying the least amount of games in history, like in my history, than I am right now, just because I'm just so focused on backlog. The only new thing I bought was Pixel Remaster.
Right.
Because that was a must play for me, for sure.
Yeah, it's funny actually. I was looking at last year's. Like, I bought a lot more games last year than I did the year before. But I think part of that was I got to November and I was like, I don't have a game of the year pick. I need to play some fucking games from this year and try and find something. And then it turns out Indiana Jones came out, and that was in my top 3 like immediately. I was like, oh well, I probably could have just waited. But like, yeah, I definitely bought a lot of games last year, more than I usually do. But most of them were just kind of okay. And yeah, this year's looking pretty big though. I mean, we talked about the developer direct last week, and so they had New Doom, like, looks great. South of Midnight, Ninja Gaiden, and fuck, what was the other one? Why am I blanking?
You do it.
Fuck, that's okay. I lost it. Oh,
Is it Vowed out yet?
RPG.
It was Clear Obscura.
There you go.
Yeah. Again, and that's
Speaking
kind
of new games,
yeah, and like those
not
are
to
all,
side tangent,
yeah.
I just saw because of the anime sale. I didn't know that Slitterhead came out already.
Yeah, it came out like late last year. I think it was like October. I think?
Yep. October.
Yep, and it just kind of came and went.
Yeah, because like it was on my radar, and I was like, "Wait, that's out? Shit!"
That is very much on my play this year because it flopped last year list. Because I went, wait, Slitterhead came out. Oh my god, I didn't even realize that. So, yeah, definitely doing that one.
Yeah,
Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off there.
I definitely want to hear your opinions on that when you guys play it, because I heard nothing about it. So
Yeah, it literally came. It literally was like, it's coming out soon, and then 2 months later, I'm like, oh right, Slitterhead came out. I didn't even hear any reviews about it.
Yeah,
like,
it looks
no one
cool.
I listened to talk about it. Yeah, it looks neat. So, I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't know. Maybe this year's the year I play more new games and I try to just say fuck the backlog and I just play the new releases.
I've been like
Game
trying
Pass.
to. Game Pass has just been. I think I'm gonna do like a Game Pass like run through again, because I used to do that every now and then, where I was like take like 3 months and I would just play like a shitload of Game Pass stuff and just kind of just rip through it, even if it wasn't leaving, just to be like, actually, you know what? Like this is something I pay for. I might as well get the most out of it.
Yeah,
but we'll see. I don't know. I mean, it does look like this is going to be a pretty big year for Game Pass and Xbox. I mean, we've got like 5 or 6 big releases coming out in the next sort of few months. And so
I've got South by Midnight pre-installed already. I'm definitely doing that one.
Yeah, that looks really good.
That
So
looks
that's April. And then I think so is. I mean, like again, like sounds like they've got a really good timeline for this, like sort of after the March financial year stuff, starting a new year fresh with some big releases. And then obviously Avowed next month or this month as well, which I'm also very, very excited for. Looks really, really good.
Mm-hmm. Good. They need some wins.
They really do.
Dominoes,
I just need an easy, digestible like game I can do without a guide kind of game.
You should play Flock.
That's my sort of.
You should play Flock. I really enjoyed that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's very, very chill. It's a little bit of a grind at the end, but not too bad. Speaking of Game Pass, we got a few updates. We don't know what's leaving yet because it's only the 2nd here, so they'll probably announce that early next week. Hopefully nothing too crazy, but I suspect Persona 3 Reload is probably going to be on that list if you're thinking about what's going to be leaving. So that's been a year. Great game. Definitely the best version of that game they've ever had. Especially now that the deal, you can get the DLC for the extra episode as well for the Fest stuff. But
for free.
Yes. If you're a Game Pass Ultimate subscriber, I think you have to do it today though. Otherwise, it'll I think it lapses.
No, I should do that.
Also, what we have joining, so we had Ninja Gaiden 2 Black join last week as a sort of surprise announcement with the Direct. We also had Eternal Strands, which apparently is getting good reviews. Got that on my to play list. Orcs Must Die Death Trap, Citizen Sleeper 2 just got added, Sniper Elite Resistance, and Shady Part of Me. So decent few amount of games actually for the end of the month.
Mm-hmm.
And we'll keep an eye out for the next announcement in a couple of weeks. And then, of course, we've got our Patreon, patreon.com/HallOfGamers. A huge thank you to Lee Howard, Mikhail KV, Natola Neda, Mad Lefty, Admiral Awesome, Happy Moogles, Kung Fu Skills, Hack and Pone, Cavalier 07, Old Mate Clown, Mace J, Left for Legacy, and McNulty. We literally could not afford to do the show without you guys. I put the money straight back into this show to pay for things like hosting on Buzzsprout, and occasionally equipment when it breaks, and the word challenge and other competitions and stuff like that. So trust me, I ain't retiring anytime soon. But again, if you do want to help us out, any kind of additional content that we do, we always put up on the Patreon, either first or exclusively. We do have Lights, Camera, and Action on there if you want to look at our old back episodes and that kind of stuff. And all the content is available for everyone at any price point. We don't gate it based on how much you give us. We just want everyone to be able to enjoy it. So if you can support, if there's too much, if you want to support more, that's great. But if you want to support the minimum, that's also fantastic. We really, really appreciate it. We've also got our monthly theme, which is every 2 months, the Bimestral Burden. So we pick a theme, and we kind of have a bit of a community channel on our Discord, and we have a bit of a chat around those games and talk about trying to finish them and trying to encourage you to go back to your backlog or pick up new games and kind of, get the theme going. So this theme is Back in My Day. So this is where it's time to finish up your remasters, your remakes, and your retro games that didn't have achievements when they originally came out, but now do, thanks to either like retro achievements or remasters or remakes. Reboots are a little bit of a weird territory because they're not technically the original game, but we'll see. I was playing Alone in the Dark last week, and that technically does not count, unfortunately. But I am playing something this week that definitely counts. But yeah, again, if you picked up the Final Fantasy Pixel remasters, this is the perfect time to do them. And yeah, speaking of what we've been playing, what have you guys been up to? Shane, let's start with you.
I don't know when everyone else last on. Did I talk about Those Who Remain?
I don't think so.
Mostly, the big thing I played was Suicide Squad, finally.
Yes.
Which,
yes. I've been hearing a lot about this.
Record time, apparently. Game's great. It is the 5th game in the Arkham series, I think.
Technically, yes.
I mean, everyone knows what Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League is. It made such a big, we'll say, splash.
A lot of people heard about it, that's for sure.
Yeah. I could see some of the complaints. It is very decidedly not like other Arkham games.
Mm-hmm.
That's evident the minute you turn it on. But I enjoyed it a lot. Like, a lot. It was very fun. The movement and combat, fantastic. You have 4 characters to start with. There are 3 DLC characters you get. And they all have very distinct movement patterns. They all have the weapons get a little stale because they all use the same sniper rifle, minigun, pistol, assault rifle, SMG, shotgun. So not a lot. Everyone kind of uses certain ones or not the others. I don't know. It felt really good. I was mostly playing as Deadshot.
Mm-hmm.
I was zooming around and darting around with a jetpack and shooting enemies and exploding things. I had a blast. I never felt bored, even through the end game grind. I never had an issue. I enjoyed the story for what it was. I think there's more to it because there are, I think, 8 episodes now.
Gotcha.
Post game. But I didn't deal with any of that. I don't care. There's no achievements for it. It actually would be a good one for you, Jake, for playing a game without a guide. You don't really need one. It's like most Arkham games where you can go back and get all the trophies when you feel like it. The riddles for each section of the map. For those not aware, you're in Metropolis this time. There are Riddler challenges, there are riddles, and Riddler trophies, which you can get later on. And it tells you by section how many are in each one. Makes it real nice. There's no missable achievements. It's perfect.
You're kind of selling me on it, I gotta be honest.
And blow things up.
I had it. I bought it when it was like $2.
Yeah, same. I was like, I've had it.
I think most people did. Yeah, so you guys should play it together, because I bet it'd be really fun in a group.
Yeah, we can do that.
It would also make the end grind a little better. Because I was playing with bots, and they were doing just fine. So I can imagine it with 3 to 4 people that are good at games. You could probably clear through those, what they're called incursions, post-game pretty quick. I didn't have much of an issue. I had a great time. I finished it in, 30 hours? I think the estimate on TA is 50 to 60. So I clearly... Either they made it easier, or I'm just good. I'm not really sure.
Mainlined it, yeah.
Yeah, pretty much.
Still different.
Mainly hard. It was good. I'm gonna It's the first game of the year that I'm playing. I'm trying to do one a month, like I think I said last time I was on, where I'm going to do one game that is generally known not to be bad, like horrendous, King Kong, Gollum bad, but just didn't really land well, and maybe got torn apart by Twitter idiots, or just didn't sell, or just it slither-headed and just came out and no one talked about it. So that was the number one, and I am going to sing its praises for a while. I really enjoyed it.
So have you
it
got
was
something
easy.
lined up for February?
I don't know yet. I was trying to do them in order of release from last year, but all the other games on my list are the end of the year. So I've
Yeah,
got to find something, or just pick one of those. I think the one I'm most excited to get to is Unknown 9, I think it's
Oh
called.
yeah, the one that came out in like October. And then
Starring
no one bought. Yeah.
starring the chick from The Witcher show. But I'm gonna GameFly that, so I need to make that decision soon.
I did want to play that.
Slitterhead's on there for sure. Definitely doing Slitterhead. I have to stay away from good games that everyone knows were amazing that didn't sell well, like Prince of Persia. I've heard that is incredible. Speaking of
Right.
Smash Brothers, it's supposed to be like the Subspace Emissary mode,
Yep.
just in a Metroidvania platformer.
What
but
game?
the Prince of Persia: Lost Crown.
Oh, sure.
They,
I
they
thought
said
you
the
were talking about a
gameplay is
different
very similar to Smash Brothers. So
game. That's sick. I mean, I've been
yeah.
meaning to play that one too. It looks sick.
Yeah, it's great. I'm gonna play it on
Yep.
Ubisoft Plus. You should
Oh
definitely
yeah.
check out Alone in the Dark. I think would be a really good pick for that, actually.
That's I think on the list because I think my friend owns it, so I can play it from their account. And then I forget what else I have on that list, but there's a few of them. But yeah, no, I'm not sure if I'll be able to fill out the whole year, but I'm definitely gonna hit some of the big ones. Suicide Squad was the main one.
Yeah.
I remember watching trailers for that, going, "That's not that bad. Shut up." And yeah, it wasn't. It wasn't even kind of.
Well, I mean,
even not
my
even close
soapbox.
to bad.
My soapbox is always people who say games bad have never played bad games.
As
Thank you.
achievement
Especially
hunters,
Achievement
we
Hunter,
we
peanut
are
butter.
amazingly positioned to talk about bad games. That is for sure.
Yeah, I think so. 100%.
And I've played a lot of bad games, and Suicide Squad is not bad in any way, shape, or
I've
form.
played a
If
lot
I
of bad
had to get
games.
one knock, the writing's a little cringe. They try to be funny, and that's always hard in gaming writing. Boomerang did make me laugh a good few times, but a lot of times it's like, oh, he just said that kind of comedy, and it's like, okay, I guess. But whatever.
I'll be
That's
curious
a
on
pretty
hearing when you
minor
get to
critique.
Dragon Age Valgard how you get on with that, because that
See, I was tempted to do that one as part of it, but that got okay reviews actually.
it
So
it
I don't
did and
know.
it didn't, right? I mean, like we there was a new, again, I didn't
Yeah.
put it in our
It
news
was the
stories.
most like divisive game I can think of in recent memory, where it was
Yeah.
like
The people
a lot of
I
people were like, "It's an
trusted-
amazing game," and a lot of people are like, "I hate this game."
The people I
Weird.
trust for reviews definitely gave it glowing. So I was not sure if I'm gonna put it on the list, but since I'm not sure I'm gonna have 12 games, that probably will end up going on there maybe near the end of the year or something. Because I do also want to play it.
Yeah,
It
me too. Like,
I've never played a Dragon Age game.
Curious, and I
So-
love Dragon Age. So, but
I've never played a Dragon
fan.
Age game.
oh well, I mean, this is an
I
interesting.
feel
one
like I
to
need
play.
to fill out the saga at this point. Like I've played them all, so
Yeah, me
I
too.
own the first two.
First one
And I
is
played Dragon Age
magical.
2 Light, which was Game of Thrones. I think it was just called Game of Thrones.
Game of Thrones,
But
yeah.
it was Dragon Age 2 pretty much.
It kind of was
So-
in a weird way.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't put it in the news stories, but there was an earnings report around like how Dragon Age Valgard did, and apparently it missed expectations by about 50%.
Yeah.
Which is
By a good bit. That
Pretty
whole
rough.
team got laid off, and they're focusing on Mass Effect now.
yeah,
so.
but they're also they've also downscaled the Mass Effect team as well, apparently, because
Mm-hmm.
apparently it's not even in full production yet. So
Yeah, it's sounding like this is make or break for BioWare,
yeah,
which is unfortunate.
I get the feeling it might already be broken at this stage. I would actually would be somewhat surprised in whatever state Mass Effect ends up launching in. We'll see.
I kind of wish Mass Effect, the last one, Andromeda, I think it's called, was last year, so I could play that as part of my thing.
Yeah.
Because the only BioWare game, is it the only BioWare game I've ever played? Oh no, I did first Mass Effect.
Yeah.
But I also did Anthem. Didn't mind
Yeah,
it that
that's
much.
fair.
It was kind of boring at first, or by the end, but it wasn't terrible. So I definitely think Andromeda is probably something I'd enjoy, though it's also been fixed quite a bit.
Yeah,
so.
they did a lot of work.
Not sure
on
that
it.
counts.
They had to.
Yeah. But yeah, I know a lot of people in the community bought Suicide Squad when it was like $4, and it's like the deluxe edition. So you can unlock one of the season passes to get cool costumes and everything else. So might as well. But other than that, I played Phasmophobia. I'm Honestly, this podcast might be the only reason I don't finish that tonight. But I'm right there. Like I am just
We'll
about
try
to
and finish
Prestige
this up quickly
3.
so you can get it done.
Oh, but I might proceed. I got Prestige 3, and then I'm going to save the tutorial for the final achievement, and I'm done. So pretty excited about that. When I logged off just now before the podcast, I was level 86.
Damn.
That's
So
crazy.
I'm right there.
Weren't people
Prestige
estimating?
286.
Weren't people estimating that was going to be like a 300-hour completion?
I think so. It looks like
Or is
TA
there,
says
like,
it's
a
an
super
80 to 100 hour, which I think fits.
That's a lot.
Yeah, it's a lot because we've got it down to a science. Me and my friends, where we don't die. It's literally just walk in, we find the ghost, we figure it out, we leave. It's like we played for an hour earlier. I leveled up 5 times.
Damn.
Just give you an idea of how fast,
You're killing it.
the kind of rate you can go. And then the hardest part is Apocalypse, which I've talked about before.
Mm-hmm.
And since I get that done, it's all downhill from here. So not much to say on there. I'll probably talk about it next time I'm on. I'm gonna finish it. It's gonna be any time now. So unless they add more achievements, which they might.
Be kind of
They
unusual,
clearly
though.
know we're here. There's a badge for Achievement Hunter, it's called. Though they're not unaware of us. So we'll see. Since it's come to Xbox, they haven't added any additional content where they could add in more achievements. So for now, it's not sure if they will or not.
So you're probably safe for at least for a
I
little
don't
bit.
think they've said anything publicly. Yeah, they've got some big update coming up soon. They're gonna add like video cameras, and adding new tech means they could add 4 to 5 new ghosts. In the current game, every ghost has its own achievement too, so
Oh, okay, right.
we'll find out. I also did Anacard, just really quick because it was in Game Pass.
It's kind of not
That was
much to that game.
Interesting game, but yeah, it's just Zelda kind of, but I'd say that game has got very little action in it overall.
Yeah,
it is very 50-50 puzzle action.
Not a lot of game there, to be honest.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no, not really. It's a cool story.
Mm.
I mean, it's kind of a neat premise, but yeah, that was definitely a get it done quick kind of thing. And then I started Bound by Flame. Speaking of backlog.
Oh,
So
okay,
it's a
yeah.
360
I've had
game.
that one. I bought that one a million years ago, and it's been sitting in the backwards compatible list forever or whatever.
Me too, because I don't know how many Spiders developed games you've played, but every single one I've ever played made me rage harder than just about any other game I've done. So I've had this installed, God, a long time, and just looked at it and gone, absolutely not. Over and over. Like, I'm trying to look at the ones I've done. They did the Sherlock Holmes game, some of the older ones, which are not rage-inducing.
Yeah,
But I did Fairy Legend of Avalon, which wasn't terrible.
that was fun.
But I also did Mars Wars Logs and Of Orcs and Men, and those games made me want to punch a baby.
Of Orcs and
across
Men was
the
rough.
room. Yes. And Mars Wars Log, that's probably one of the maddest I've ever gotten in a video game. So I was worried. And if you've played those, they're, what would you call them? Probably tactical RPGs?
Yeah, sort of like Western tactical.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I thought, okay, that's what Bound by Flame's going to be, just in a different setting. It's probably closer to Dark Souls,
More
I would
action-y
say.
for sure. Yeah.
Not quite that level, but definitely you have to parry a lot. You're dodging. You take a buttload of damage if anything touches you, but it's far more of an action game. I was kind of surprised. It's a good game, I would say. Not my cup of tea. I'm struggling a lot to like stay focused and play it.
Mm-hmm.
But I can recognize that it's a pretty good game,
Okay.
and most people would enjoy it. For the crowd listening to this and you guys, there is a glitch that lets you dupe items to get almost infinite gold, and you can use gold to buy materials to make traps and potions and stuff, which makes the entire game trivial.
Oh, well, that's
So
great.
I am blowing through it pretty quick now.
Great. Okay. Well, that's all I
figured
needed
that
to
out.
hear.
Yeah, no, I even found a faster way to do it because I was like, I forgot you could push back to like. The way you do it is you glitch the game out where you hit right trigger to go to sell on a merchant menu, and A at the same time, and then you sell the materials you have up to how much money you have. But what it's actually doing is giving you the money and giving them the materials. It's pretty much if you just hit back, it maxes out your money right away. So I've just been doing that anytime I need it. I've been using traps. You can spec in traps and just blow everything to smithereens. It's a joke now. There's 2 playthroughs if you are careful. The TA walkthrough's garbage. Don't use it.
Oh, okay.
I would use it in conjunction with something with a little more focused on the 4 relationships you have to establish. Maybe have to redo chapter 2, so that's why I'm a little annoyed about it. But you need to do a human playthrough and a demon playthrough, and then you can only there's no same-sex relationships. There are 2 men and 2 women you have to romance. And then on top of that, one of the women needs you to be demon path.
Right.
So you have to make sure that one of your playthroughs a male demon path, and you get her, and she's very picky about what you say to her. So a guide is you need a guide,
Got it.
and you need to make sure you know what you're doing. Yeah, if it wasn't for Phasmophobia, I'd probably finish my first playthrough tonight. It's not very long, and then you have to play through on hard, so that'll be my human playthrough. But I'm gonna be spamming traps and potions and upgrades because I have infinite money, so I don't care. But
You're not only
yeah,
cheating
yeah.
yourself, you're the game, but you're cheating yourself, Shane.
Absolutely. Hey, I played through most of up to chapter 2 without knowing that was there.
All
So,
I've been thinking about this
okay.
entire conversation is that copy pasta.
Yeah.
You guys know what I'm talking
Yes,
about?
I know exactly the one. Yeah.
Which one?
It's so fun. It's like this, I don't know, this long rant about like people exploiting shit in games, and like the guy is like, you're not only cheating the game, but you're cheating yourself. And then people just like threw it around. Like speedrunners started editing and cut game screens of like Sonic 2.
Yeah.
They'd like glitch wrap the whole map, and then the end screen would be like the whole copy pasta just pasted.
So good.
See, to our earlier conversation, I'm enjoying it now more and having more fun.
That's the
now
important
that I
part.
have infinite traps and potions. Yeah. So, thank you. But yeah, it's good. I think people that like Dark Souls would probably get a kick out of it. Okay. And obviously for achievement hunters, just dupe everything and just blow through it. I forget what TA says completion time is. 40, 50 hours.
Yeah, okay.
I'm definitely gonna come under that. There ain't no freaking way I'm anywhere close to that. But it's one of those games where it comes down to how good you are at combat. If you're blown through it like I am, whatever, you know. So I will report back on that. But that's all I've been playing.
Excellent. All right. I will probably be pretty quick because I don't have a huge amount. Again, we did the show on Tuesday, so I haven't had as much time to play games. But yeah, I have been. I started Redfall actually. Stubby, me, and Cameron are running through that. So we've gotten a few of the missable achievements. We're not spending a huge amount of time on it. We put maybe 2 or 3 hours into it so far. Just kind of working on some of it. It's fine, you know. Like we're having an okay time with it. No, we haven't run into any issues yet. There are a lot of missable stuff that we're trying to keep an eye out for. So I've got my guide open constantly and trying to direct people around. But that's kind of our game that we play when Kio's busy. So we just kind of have the 3 of us. The game we have been playing when we're all together is Tiny Tina's Wonderlands. So we got to the end of the story of that, and I'm having a pretty good time with it actually. The narrative has never really been the strong point in the Borderlands series, and I think this one is particularly weak, especially because like it's like D&D kind of jokey, like very much like there isn't really a plot. It's basically an excuse plot. It's like the humor is pretty good. It's actually relatively well tailored to people who play tabletop games. You know, there was a whole bit around like there was a guy, he had to get a bag of holding or whatever, and I think it was just called Pocket Sand Castle, and he talked about how he's going to go throw it in someone's face and run away. And so it was just it's like meme humor, right? There was a thing one called the Stitcher or something. It was like a whole Witcher quest line they did, where he just talks about how much he beds women all the time and fights dragons and shit, but just doesn't do any of those things. Like it's fine. Like we did all the side quests, we did the main quest, and now it's kind of like clean up. We just got a few other achievements, and there's some very, very light DLC to do. So that's kind of been our like group game that we just kind of hang out and just chat shit. And then what else have I been working on? I'm nearly finished up with Sea of Stars. So the problem with the title update is that it requires you to be basically at the end game, like have completed the game and have done all the extra stuff. You need to basically have everything unlocked to get the last couple of achievements, which is annoying because one of the achievements is to beat like 20 bosses with this super hard relic on that you only get at the end of the game. So it basically requires you to do a New Game Plus playthrough, of which I was about 2/3 of the way through. This title update came out, and so I've had to basically push through. So I just beat the final boss again, was piss easy because I'm still super highly leveled. Now I just got to grind out the end game content so I can do these last couple of achievements for fishing and doing high fives and other stupid bullshit. I have a real I can't quite decide if I like that game or not. I think that like I love the art. Like I really like The Messenger originally was like a really cool game, even though it had some bullshit in it. Like I like the art, the music's great. I like the concept is very obviously Chrono Trigger inspired, but the very like limited abilities of your cast is like each character has like 3 abilities they can use and then combo abilities. Like it's like a very very light RPG and like almost too light, I think. And having all the timing mechanics in and all the fights kind of makes it a bit of a slog. You can't just you have to be on for every fight that you do to have the timing for all your attacks. Otherwise, you do half damage or you don't block correctly and all that kind of stuff. In the same way that you're like, I'm trying to think what other games have that kind of stuff. Like the Mario and Luigi RPGs and that kind of stuff, where it's like you got to do like the timing jumps and timing attacks and that kind of stuff.
So yeah, Mario RPG.
Yeah, it is very reminiscent of that kind of style of game, and like, I think it's a pretty good game overall, and I like a lot of things about it. I just kind of feel like it doesn't quite hit the mark, and also like hasn't really stuck with me over the years. And then the last thing I've been playing is for our theme month. I kind of talked a bit about this last week, but I have gone back to Final Fantasy X2. So Final Fantasy X was I did that got that as a gift because again it's my favorite game of all time, and so the X2 is part of that collection. There's half the achievements, and but I kind of started it to put like an hour or 2 into it and was just like, this is really not clicking for me after the masterpiece of the original game. So it's been a few years now. Went back to it and I'm having a really good time with it. I actually just finished the story last night. Those who have played through it famously know that it has one of the most stringent 100% achievements or requirements of any game known to man. You need to have like 3 different guides open to make sure you don't miss anything. I ended up with like 99.6%, and I had no idea what the actual thing that I missed was. Thankfully, if you are that close, you can basically do the first chapter in New Game Plus, make a different decision, and get a couple of extra cutscenes, and it'll unlock the achievement. So I didn't have to replay the whole thing. I was close enough to just kind of inch myself across the line.
I'd be so mad.
I thought I had it because I got like the big cutscene, and I thought I was like, and it's like, no, it came up, it was like, yeah, 99%. I was like, what the fuck did I miss? I couldn't even imagine. It's probably like I probably missed like maybe one cutscene somewhere. So yeah, made the decision to give at the end of the first chapter, you have a decision between 2 factions. In order to get 100%, you have to choose one faction, but if you miss it, you can choose the other faction, get a couple of cutscenes you wouldn't have got through your original playthrough, and it kind of just gives you a couple of extra percentage points or point. So I've got loaded the mission. Took me like an hour or 2 to get through the first chapter. Started the second chapter, loaded it up, got the achievement, done. However, I'm not completely done with the game because I didn't realize that they also have achievements for the Final Fantasy X2 last mission, which, if you don't know, is a separate mode, I guess, or is this like a separate additional story beat set 3 months after the end of the game, where you have to climb a tower, and it's literally just Rogue. You are literally just playing original Rogue with nicer graphics, where you're on a grid, you move step by step per turn, you pick up items, it's all randomly generated, and you got to climb 80 floors of this fucking tower. I don't know what the fuck this is. I just started it today. I'm on like floor 10 or whatever, so I got a long way to go. And there's like a boss fight every 20 floors. Obviously, if you die, you have to go. Like, there are save points and stuff, but it's weird. It's very, very weird. I mean, it is fully turn-based, so it is, I guess, a bit more like the original game as opposed to the kind of active time battle stuff, but I really didn't feel like it would have been fine to not have achievements for that, to be honest. I really don't feel like it adds a lot to the game, but I didn't know it existed. It was a brand new thing for me, so yeah, I'm going to be working away at that. And then I'm kind of trying to pick my next project. I kind of need, again, Final Fantasy X2 is taking me about 65, 70 hours or so to finish, so looking for something that's kind of a bit chunky. Thinking about maybe doing Octopath Traveler 2 or Stranger of Paradise, the Final Fantasy Dark Souls style game. I don't know. There's a few other bits and pieces. Yeah, I don't know. But also keeping an eye out for things for our theme month so we can clear out that backlog. I've definitely got a few of those older games. I did try to pull up Resident Evil 4, the old version. Oh boy, that game has aged roughly when you've played like the remake, and we've come a long way since then. But that might be one I go for. But yeah, that's pretty much me. So not as much as I would have liked to. I've been busy with a few other things this week. So, Jake, what about you?
Yeah, I'll keep it a little short too, mostly because I'm dying.
For those listening, Jake is very sick, and we're very glad that he can join us this week. But yeah,
I'm dying. So it's been a while since I've been on. I think since I've been on, last you heard of me, I was playing through the Final Fantasy Pixel remasters. I've since finished all of them, all 6 of them. It was my first time ever playing through 6. Loved it. Like, I think it's usurped 4, because 4 was my favorite of the classics for a while, but I think 6 surpasses 4 in just every single way. And then playing 6, I can see how the game mechanics progressed into 7 from playing 6, because up until recently, I'd only played through 4, and I mean, it's still, 7, 8, 9 are very much so like turn-based RPGs, but they're vastly different from 4. So I was kind of like, where do they get this inspiration from? If you play 6, 7 makes a lot more sense mechanically.
Right.
Yeah, it's just like I feel like 6 is just the mechanics are just a culmination of 1 through 5 perfected in every way. I think they took bits and pieces of each of those games and took what worked and cut what didn't. And I think that's why it makes sense that Final Fantasy VI is probably a lot of people's favorite Final Fantasy of all time. Like, I totally get it now. It's still 12 is still my favorite, but 6 is probably, I would say, my favorite of the classic franchise at this point.
There is the rumor that they are going to be remaking it, because it is one of those hugely popular ones that just, again, a lot of people never experienced, right? And I feel like it's old enough now that it makes a lot of sense.
So if you pick any games out of the Pixel Remaster, if you don't want to buy the whole thing, definitely recommend 6. I also recommend 4. 4 is still fantastic games. Fantastic story. Just fun all the way through. But if you only want to pick one, I'd do 6. If you want to pick 2, I'd do 4 and 6. And then other than that, I've been playing... I finished 100% the arcade and simulation mode of Forza Motorsport 1 on the Xbox original. Okay. Yeah, that was my grindy racer that I keep on the background when I'm like, I have an hour lunch break or like an hour meeting that I don't care about. So I just race instead and act like I'm paying attention. So I got the 100% on that. For what it is, it's fun. It was cool to experience the start of the Forza series. So jumped into Dirt 3 as my next kind of idle racer on Steam. I'm not achievement hunting it because I think it has unobtainables or that, or it's kind of a bitch to get, but I get to play it on PC, which means it's fun playing 360 games on PC because you can max it out to 4K 144 hertz and like do all that. Like, they go back and add like DLSS and like all the other fun stuff for that makes a PC. So it's cool playing these. I think that's 7th gen 360 and PS3. It's fun going back and playing these 7th gen games on PC because they feel like almost you can make your own little remaster if you have a beefy enough PC, which is fun.
That is cool.
So I've been having fun with that.
You mean like Bloodborne?
Well, not according to Sony. They've just put that cease and desist out for that 60 FPS patch. So
rip. Other than that, I dove into Tomb Raider. The Tomb Raider remasters. I've been playing through the first one. It's my first time ever playing the old Tomb Raider games. I didn't know that it was like, I thought it was just a port. I didn't know it was like a new coat of paint and textures and everything on top of it. So it's fun to switch back and forth. It looks really nice. People say, I don't know, I feel like this is a classic instance of reporting of it being very difficult, and then I get in my head that it's going to be very difficult, and then I pick it up and realize I'm probably better than the average gamer.
Sure.
So I'm not having too much trouble with it at all. So I mean, we'll see. I'm only on my first playthrough. You have to kill everything, collect everything, and smash everything. Next, I'm about halfway done. There is a speedrun achievement, a 5-hour speedrun achievement. There's a save achievement for saving less than 86 times. There is a New Game Plus achievement, which gives you save points on the map that you're allowed to save at. You can't save anywhere like you can in the normal game. And then there is I think there's no, there's not a no heal achievement. Or if there is, there's an easy way to get it. You can do the level skip and get some of the achievements really easily.
Oh, that's
by doing
handy.
the level
Okay.
skip. Yeah. Like there's an achievement for beating the game only using the pistols, which is like not too bad, but I want to, for my first time, I hate handicapping myself for the first time ever playing a game.
Yeah.
Because I want to just experience the game.
For sure.
Like, I don't want to put some arbitrary rule and stipulation on my first experience with the game, because that's a great way to ruin a game for you.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, I don't want to do that. And then they're like, you can also like not do this achievement in your first playthrough, and you can just level skip to the end of the game, and it'll pop when you're done. I'm like, oh, sweet, I'm gonna do that then. And then so I'm about halfway through my first playthrough on Tomb Raider 1, playing that on the PS5. And then I also recently picked back up Elder Scrolls Online.
Oh, yeah, I heard they made some changes there recently.
Well, they didn't really. I don't know if they made some changes. They released a 10-year anniversary event.
Oh.
And what they
That
did
made
with
one of
this
the achievements
event,
easier.
it made the rarest achievement in the entire game easier.
Oh.
There's an achievement for catching all of the rare fish in every zone in the game.
Mm-hmm.
And typically, talking to Admiral Awesome, he was halfway done with it, legit, and he said he had probably about 100 hours invested in fishing.
Okay.
So he was 100 and more-ish hours off from getting this achievement. I started from 0 and finished it in maybe 15 hours.
Okay.
Because of this event.
How long's the event going?
The event made it. The event actually ends in like a couple days. It's almost done.
Yeah.
Unfortunately. The event, what it does is it makes it so you can't catch duplicate of the rare fish. So you just fish in the spot until you get all 3 of the rare fish for that spot, and you move on to the next. As where typically you could get 30 repeats or 40 repeats before you finally get your last blue rarity fish, because there's usually 2 green rarity and a blue rarity. The blue rarity obviously rare. So yeah, Admiral said he used to spend hours and hours and hours and hours. And then there's also the time investment of trying to get the bait and all this other stuff. Yeah, I did it in under 15 hours from 0. So got that out of the way, which feels good. That was one I never thought I'd ever get. I still don't know if I'll ever get Emperor. I mean, we will hold out hope. Maybe we'll go for it one day, but getting that kind of relit a fire under me, and I've just been playing casually the last few days too. Just been going to zones and finishing daily dungeons and getting my character build out. I'm finally max gear level, so gear can't drop any higher level, which is nice. So I can actually start building my in-game build. Yeah, it's been fun. It's been a fun that's been my kind of brain off, don't need a guide game, because I just run around the zones and do questing and stuff, and it's a good time. So that is what I have been up to. That's about it.
Great. Well, that's a good list of games. And then I guess
It feels good when you get that like achievement in a long-standing game you haven't touched in a while, and you're just like, I got this now. I can do this. I got this now.
That was me with Final Fantasy.
Literally,
I was like, oh, I can play this. Like, I actually this didn't have to be sitting here in the backlog for that long. I could have actually done something about this.
I remember talking to Admiral because he was going through every zone he played through. He didn't leave until I got the right fish, and I asked him. I was like, "Do you feel like you can actually play the game now?" And he's like, "I don't know what to do with myself anymore. Like this is my focus. I don't know what to do anymore. Like you can go enjoy the game. Is what you can do."
No
enjoyment.
nonsense.
Only achievements.
No.
No, it's a good list of games. I'd be curious to hear back on some of your progress with some stuff. All right, we've also got the word challenge. I brought it back. Cameron was giving me shit about it because I did say I was going to end it, but I had a lot of demand. So yes, the word challenge is back. If you don't know what it is, every month or so I come up with a game. I set up our bot to show a GIF if you guess the game correctly, and our word challenge channel on our Discord. And each week I give away a clue. And so you can go in there and guess once per hour. And if you win like $10 if you want it. Otherwise, I just put it back into the prize pool. I know some people just don't really care and they just kind of want to play for fun, which is also fair. So the word challenge, the clues are, this game has multiple playable characters. It was released before 2005, and it's from a series that started in the 1980s. So it's kind of a double clue there. So you know it's part of a series now, and also it's kind of a slightly older series. But yeah, get your guesses in. I'd be very curious to see. I've seen some really good guesses so far. Very curious to see kind of what direction people are going in. I know people start making lists and stuff, and just going down them. It's a strategy that's worked in the past, and sometimes it's the first game on the list, and you get Jade Empire, and you ruin my whole fucking thing in week 1. But anyway, we also have our leaderboard on TA. If you'd like to join our leaderboard, let us know. We can add you on there, especially if you're a big high scorer and you want to have a name read out on the show. But this week we have in third place Martel with 6,830. Thrash Forever with 15,665, and a Grey Shark with 40,258 in a week. That is insane. Also, apparently Zidalon have said they're back, so keep your eye out for more Zidalon games if you really want to get that gamer score going.
Oh, yay.
I will not be touching them with a barge pole. All right.
Nope.
Completions. Shane, do you have the Trello up by any chance?
Yes, I do.
If you want to read through those.
Scroll. There it is. All right. Why did it scroll down again? Scrick Cameron got Chivalry 2, Quake 1 and 2, and Sniper Elite 5. Ickle Runikens did WRC Generations. Rapture got Terra, which didn't that go offline?
I think the PC version did, but the console versions are still available.
Battle of Sharks did Dying Light. Vex 173 did Borderlands pre-sequel. Left 4 Legacy did Need for Speed Heat. And Rapture did Death's Door, which was leaving Game Pass.
Just made it.
Made it.
And with that, that's pretty much going to bring us into the show. As always, you just show love on Twitch, Xbox Hall of Gamers. Come hang out, shitpost, the usual bit. Shane, you got anything going on?
No, not really. I'm just playing. I'm streaming every night like I always do.
Where can they find you?
You can come find me at FirehawkD_Xbox on Twitch. And then if you want to find anything else, just go to firehawkd.com. Got all my links there. Easy peasy.
Great. Jake, what about you?
Yeah, you can find me obviously in the Hall of Gamers Discord. You can find me at the Achievement Hunters Anonymous Discord, which there's links to each other's Discords in both of the Discords. You can find me apparently on ESO now. So if you're grinding ESO and need some grinding buddies, I got a couple other buddies trying to get behind it. So we need to do some vet dungeons. So now's a great time to hop in.
Yeah, great. And as always, I'm Neomaster on everything True Achievements, Xbox, and Discord. As always, even though I don't do any streaming or anything, the Discord is definitely the best place to find me. And I think that's been episode 155. Thank you both, Jake and Shane, for joining me, especially you, Jake, given that you're half alive at this point. I'll make sure to get this episode out as your last will and testament, just in case.
Sweet.
But thank you all for joining us. We'll catch you guys next week. See you later.
Adios.
Peace out.